All right, one of you guys could have said something about me pinging the wrong person here because everything gets cut off when you are streaming on Discord. So, thank you, appreciate it. I had to message Dankestad, be like, "What the hell are they talking about?" Okay, we are coming at you live with episode 2, and we are going to be talking about not expansion songs. I didn't change one of them. We are going to be talking about quests. We are going to be focusing on one specific aspect of quests, and that is how fun they are to play, how fun they are to use the reward, how fun they are to progress. We are not talking about competitiveness. Some of these may end up in the S tier that were F tier decks at the time. We are talking about how much joy these quests brought you on the match to match ladder climb. Or, I mean, in some cases, you probably weren't climbing when you were playing them. But um, I am again 2-star Mako, and to my right, I have with me for the second time Mr. Dank's dad. How you doing tonight, Mr. Dad?
Doing really great. It's gonna be a fun show. Particularly, I guess, if you are Livdera, if you're here, we give you a sub. I promise.
Okay.
I can make those sort of things. I have that authority. But
God
yeah,
damn it.
but yeah, this is gonna be a good one. I've been looking forward to talking about quests for a long time, and I'm glad we get to dig in for the show.
All right. We have quite a bit to chew through here. We have 28 quests. We're going to go probably at a little bit quicker of a pace than we did last week, just because we want to keep it around that same time length. Um, just like I said last week at the top of the show, if if you think any levels need adjusted, if you think anything needs changed from a visual or audio standpoint, please say something because this is only episode 2, so levels and all that kind of crap is probably not at perfection mode just quite yet. So feel free to speak up and I'll make those changes on the fly. All right. We are going to be starting off. Here is your tier list. Now, one thing I will note on my screen, my list looks very bright. And I don't know if it's portraying that same way on stream. So if it is not, that's fine. But if this looks bright to you, tell me, and I'll see if I can fix it on the fly here. We have, if you see at the bottom of our tier list, we have a separate category for our side quests. These are on this full list. Super bright. All right, I'll see if I can fix that while I'm talking. Um, we have these side quests that we are not going to be ranking. Not we are not going to touch the side quests. We are solely focusing on the quests. Is that better? Um, so we have. I'm not going to run through all of these one by one by one. They're pretty small. I don't know the names of some of them. I'm not going to squint. So we're just going to get started here. We have between
Activate
those
the
two?
obelisk.
Okay,
Kick it off.
there's no
On the
two
left.
Epic Cat because I clicked one button and it changed, and I don't know what the fuck I did. So, uh, activate the obelisk. I'm going to pop this up on the screen if I can. It is right here, right at the top. Activate the obelisk. Let me see if I can fix this one too. We're killing it tonight. All right. We have Activate the Obelisk. It is a quest that says restore 15 health, reward Obelisk Eye. The Obelisk Eye is a hero power, restore 3 health. If you target a minion, also give it +3/+3. Initial thoughts on Activate the Obelisk.
We're starting strong. Activate the obelisk is one of my favorite designs for a quest that we've had so far. And, just throwing it out here first, part of what I like about it is that it encourages you to actually play the game differently. So, restoring 15 health isn't something that you can really advance on your own. It does require some help from your opponent in most cases. So, you need to build your deck in a way that encourages your opponent to damage you and then be able to heal off that damage. Next, that reward also does not win the game on the spot. It gives you a big advantage. At this time in 2019, when this card was printed, 2 mana for 3/3 of stats was not insignificant. And it put you in the driver's seat firmly, but by no means was the game over. So, you got some time to play with your food. If you're the priest, you get to use this cool reward, test out this 3/3, and make some stuff happen. This is an A from me. What
An
do you think,
A.
Marco?
Um, when I think of the decks that this was played um, I, in my personal opinion, they were not the most fun decks to play. Um, I think that I know we're not talking about like toxicity to play against here. It was not very fun to play against. That's for damn sure. I won't count that in my thingy here. Um, so I don't know. Like to me this is somewhere in the middle. Like I don't find just buffing a minion to be super duper fun. And I don't find just restoring my own health to be super duper fun. It it was a competitive it felt pretty competitive, but when it came from like the standpoint of how fun was this thing to play and how fun was the reward, I think it was pretty boring. I'm with Geranium there. It was pretty boring. So to me this is in the middle. Um, to me it's more like a C. I don't think it was terribly boring. Like it was all right. Buffing stuff is pretty fun, but it's not like fun. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I'm more in the middle. I'm in like the C to D tier probably.
Yeah. Well, I will say though, I'll give chat the one benefit here that I do agree with them that it kind of boring to play against with the control priest, but maybe I'm crazy, but I do believe that every control priest playing this card was making a mistake because they were basically going down a card for no reason. The
Hmm.
control deck didn't really care too much about the upgraded hero power and had a lot more powerful ways to win the game. So when I was playing this, it was mostly in a mid-range death rattle shell. So that was where more of where my experience comes from.
Yeah.
But I can see how playing against a control deck that does this and it just adds nothing to the game. It's
Yeah.
really just, your mileage with control priest.
Yeah. Where we landing?
You know what? Let's start in B, but like
Okay.
even though it's the first one, let's keep it at the bottom of B.
All right.
How's that sound?
Well, it's simultaneously at the bottom and the top right now.
True.
We'll leave it there. Yeah. Okay. Next up, is that Awaken the Masters or Makers?
Awaken the Makers.
Makers. Okay. Yeah, like I said, you got to help me out with these names. Awaken the Makers. Quest: summon 7 Death Rattle minions. Reward: Amara, Warden of Hope.
So
Amara is a 5 mana 8/8 taunt. Battlecry: set your hero's health to 40.
So I believe this is one of the first quests we saw in Winangora, and this Amaro is one of the first rewards they spoiled.
Hmm.
I also think, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but did this quest recently get buffed with the release of what is it? The Caverns of Time. Was this one of the buffed cards? Is it now 6 minions? Not really all that relevant, but I think this
Yeah.
one got changed.
Okay, so I'll tell you this. One of my most fun experiences watching Hearthstone was when this was in standard, watching Tice play this Death Rattle quest deck constantly, and I was very new to the game at around that time, and it was very very fun to watch. When it comes to playing this card and slapping down Amara, I think it's a great feeling to have. It's I mean it was a Reno. Um, of having this on there were a few occasions I remember having this on 1 health and slapping it down and going up to 40. um so yeah, I mean I think it's fun um to play the reward. A 5 mana 8/8 at the time was decent. I mean it wasn't incredible, but it was decent.
It was
um
pretty incredible.
yeah, and when I look at the art, it's pretty good art. I mean, it's not doesn't factor in, I don't think, too much when it comes to our criteria, but it's pretty good art. So I mean, I don't know. Like this one to me is like, again, it feels this one again to me feels very mid tier. Like this feels like a solid C.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll go with C with you, but I've personally a bit higher on this one. I've played it a lot. I think
Mm-hmm.
there's a chance this is actually the quest I've played the most out of any of the ones we're going to rank, given that,
Mm-hmm.
it saw a lot of play in duels, as Geranium pointed out, and I played it a lot there, as well as in standard in its heyday. And yeah, like once again, Death Rattle Midrange Priest is one of my favorite kind of pet decks, and I think that the games that it creates are interesting.
I could
I
I could go for a B. I could see a B in this.
Yeah,
I feel like the just playing the reward when you have it in those crucial moments, like it gives the same sensation of playing a Reno when you're on low health and going back up to
yeah.
full. Like, so I can see the argument. Like I don't think it's
So
like
all
definite.
that being said, I am sticking C, and
Okay.
part of that is because I think that play X Death Rattle minions is
Hmm.
not very interesting. You are just playing the
Yes.
cards in your deck,
Yeah.
and it really doesn't change the game in any way. And like I think it stays up there in C out of those lower ranks because Amara is exciting, and Amara is a powerful thing to do, bring you back into the game, get some tempo on board. But like, the quest plays itself. There
Yeah.
aren't really many decisions you make
Yeah.
in the game that advance your quest or change your game plan. You just play this on one and just benefit. So
Okay.
I like C
See it
for
is.
Awaken the Makers.
All right. Next up, we have. I am stalling. Where is it? Bizarre Burglary. Quest. Rogue Quest. Add 4 cards from other classes to your hand. Reward Ancient Blades. Ancient Blades was a hero power that equips a 3/2 blade with immune while attacking. Um, my initial thoughts on Bizarre Burglary is that I didn't get to play it a lot because it was not very strong at the time, and the decks it was in, like it would be a deck that like I would be playing the shit out of this right now if this were in standard with Rogue at the moment. I think it probably would be a little not
Nah,
healthy, but
nah.
no,
It would
you
be
wouldn't
fun.
play
This would
this.
I would it would be one of my first cuts.
Really? Okay. Well,
So
I go for fun, not for competitiveness. That's why I'm 0 and
true.
6 in Hero right now. So, um, I don't know. When you get the reward and you press that button and you have that 3/2 immune blade, like it feels nice to swing it, but the path getting there is okay. Um, it's only 3 attack. I don't know. Like we're not starting
Uh,
off strong on this list, is what I'm
this one's an F. I'm content to call
F.
this. I think this is probably one of the, if not the most boring quests on the list. Where, I did actually play this one a bit, and I did win a lot with it. It was not bad by any means, but I don't think it was necessarily optimal in the decks that it was in because the
Yeah.
reward was not powerful enough to justify giving up a card and your turn one
Yeah.
to do this. And usually this quest would complete instantly.
Hmm.
Like decks that were playing this would usually finish it around turn 3 or 4, and they get a little bit of better fiery war axe every turn, and it is not as
Okay.
impactful after turn 5. This was barely a quest in my mind.
Okay. You're convincing me. I see it. Like I don't know. Like it at the end of the day, it doesn't feel like it impacts. It doesn't make your game any more fun than what it could have been. It just gives you a better weapon. So it doesn't like change the overall gameplay flow state. I guess I'm with you. I'm with you on
Yeah,
F. Burgling is
yeah, and
fun. Reward is not. That's a great way to phrase this one.
yeah, and your Burgle deck was usually pretty good. And like nowadays, if this was in standard, I'm not putting a card in my deck that lowers my odds of finding
Yep.
Velarok.
Okay.
No way. I want that one.
You got me. All right. Next up, what do we got?
All right, we've got the Shaman quest, Command the Elements. So we've got the
Command
whole
the
quest line here. First one of
elements.
those.
So let's go take a look at our quest line page. I had to get 2 pages pulled up because they're on separate ones. Fun. Quest line, we have, where's that? There it is. We have quest
So we
line
play.
part 1. Play 3 cards with Overload and reward unlock your overloaded mana crystals. Part 2, play 3 cards with Overload, reward summon a 3/3 elemental with Taunt, and then the final part of that quest line, play 2 cards with Overload, reward Stormcaller Brukan, which once played for the rest of the game, your spells cast twice. This one is fun.
Yeah.
This
I was.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
I like all 3 of the lines. They all felt rewarding. I like the I again not counts toward doesn't count toward criteria, but I like the art on Brukan. I like the just the your spells cast twice. Like the whole thing about it is just fun. Like once you've played that battle cry, like it completely changes your deck and how it's played and your rewards and payoffs and everything just feels like it's got an extra bit of oomph, you know what I mean? It just feels more
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. So I was a fan of this one. It does make me laugh though that, we played this one a lot in duels, even though the first stage of the quest line didn't do anything
Yeah.
because there's that duels power that makes it so you don't overload and that deck still played the quest. So first stage you're not overloaded, so oops, nothing, but then you're casting double spells and it's a little broken and maybe it was too much for that format. But
Yeah.
in standard, I think that at the time it was cool to have an effect that looks this powerful on paper, like in the present day, be good enough to be worth the effort, but not so good that the game immediately ends on the spot. There
Yeah.
were a good number of games both ways where either I would complete this quest and lose, or my opponent would complete this quest and I would still win, which I think is the mark of a good quest. It gives you a big advantage, but it does not decide the game. It's not just a race to play your 8
Yes.
overload
Yeah.
cards and get it done.
Yeah. I'm
So,
I'm feeling A tier. I don't think this is S, and like I have in my mind a couple of S tier most fun quests,
yep.
and I don't think this is with them, but this does feel very A to me.
I like A. Slap it in there.
All right, it's been slapped. Next up we have another shaman quest. We
Corrupt the waters,
Thank
right?
you. You're gonna have to get in the pattern of like naming these as I'm going, because I
Yeah.
cannot read them and I don't know them. Corrupt the waters. Shaman quest. Play 6 battle cry cards. Reward Heart of Virnal. I don't know if that was correct, but I did my best. 2 mana hero power. Your battle cries trigger twice this turn. Duranium is right. Another banger. Banger after banger. I don't. This brand moment, yes. This one again is fun. Like these things that just kind of like when I think of what is a fun quest, I think of once I've played it, does it change the way I play the game? Does it make it more in like does it bring more joy to me like throughout the whole game, or is it just like a one-off experience? How does it make me feel? And when I can trigger a battle cry twice, boy oh boy does that fun.
This quest gives me like flashbacks. I really so it was really fun. I have a
Yeah.
lot of the same feelings you do.
Yeah.
But
You got some PTSD going on.
yeah, playing it and not rolling the spell lackey, the
Yeah.
ethereal lackey, or having my opponent roll the ethereal lackey against me when playing this was like the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah.
And then not drawing your or not questing adventurer, but what was the name of the 2-drop
Don't know.
there?
Questing Explorer. That one.
Questing Explorer,
Yeah.
yes, that's the one. So, or not, and drawing my Questing Explorers when I was in top deck mode after
Mhm.
completion looking for gas, those just like killed me. But in spite of all that, this deck was awesome. Just the ultimate in value generation. You had
Mhm.
lots of cool lines that you could take with all of the lackeys. And it was pretty interesting to manage your hand states because
Mhm.
you'd have to be like, okay, do I want to use this battle cry to complete my quest, or is this one that I want to double afterwards? So you're not just slamming the battle cry minions one after another just to get to this reward. You did actually need to do a lot of planning. So I was a very big fan of Corrupt the Waters.
Okay, I'm feeling A. I'm feeling A, and I it's a toss up for me. Which one first? I'll let you decide. We going
Corrupt over command.
okay.
Boom.
All right. Next up, we're into the hunters, and
Yeah,
what do we have?
I believe is this open the vaults? Let's see.
It is defend the Dwarven District.
Oh no, we're here. Not open the
The
vaults yet.
a very long quest name.
Yes.
Defend the Dwarven District quest line first part. So quest lines reminder are 3-parters. First part, deal damage with 3 spells. Reward your hero power can target minions. Second part, deal damage with 2 spells. Set the cost of your hero power to 0. And then part 3, deal damage with 3 spells. Your hero power can target. Oh, wait, wrong one. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, deal damage with 2 spells. Reward. You got Tavish. And then Tavish for the rest of the game. Spells you cast or refresh your hero power. I don't know how hot of a take this is. I do not find this quest fun. I find the rewards to be fun. I don't find the line to be fun. Um, yeah, that's where I
Yeah.
sit. And I don't know if I also have some PTSD trauma from this, like playing against this deck, which could be the case. And I can still hear that hero power refresh like in my mind as we're talking right now. But like I don't find like it's this is one that to me feels like Amara. Like once you play Tavish, like my enjoyment level increases by a lot. But up until that point, like I'm not thinking. Like I'm just throwing shit trying to get through this.
Well, you would have learned a lot more if you were thinking, I promise.
I'm sure I would have, but I'm not a thinker. Like
Well,
I'm a control deck player. Like I don't think. You know what I'm
uh,
saying? Like we go through the
well,
motions.
I'm a control deck player. Sometimes I think so much I forget to play my turn. But with uh with this card, I will say I did like, some of the lines that you had to take in terms of developing tempo
Hmm.
or not. And when pressuring this deck the other way, like I could really sort of appreciate how many things that your opponent can think about to try to limit their progress or get in the way of it.
Yeah.
So, being able to consider that on the other side when I was playing this deck, I thought was pretty cool. I will say though, like that a lot of this deck's memory is tainted because there's a certain card Drekthar that came out an expansion afterwards
Hmm.
that kind of ruined this one. And this became the Drekthar deck that runs the quest.
Okay.
So I don't want to have this pay too much for Drekthar's sins, but I kind of like this one, and especially the expansion it came out. It was pretty innocuous. Like it really didn't do anything too broken during Stormwind, especially compared to certain other cards we'll talk about. But yeah, it was like I had some fun games too where against Warrior, part of it was just making sure that I played my cards in such a way that I could get all the damage in my deck out to break through all of their remaining armor. And
Yep.
that was a THL match and awesome. So I have good memories of this one. I'm good to slap it in B above the or above the activate the obelisk, but I'll see what you think.
This to me is a C. Like I said, this
Okay.
is exactly on par with Amara for me.
All right, then I'll let you decide which side of it, but we'll go there for sure.
I'll go left side.
All right,
We'll go ahead of Amara. It
compromise.
is more interactive after you play it, unlike Amara, where you just play it and it's done. All right.
Yeah.
Next up, Final Showdown.
Oh yeah.
What are you doing? All right, Demon Hunter quest line, or I'm pretty sure this is the only Demon Hunter one we have too.
Yep.
Draw 4 cards in one turn for the start. Reduce the cost of the cards drawn by 1. Follow up. Second part, draw 5 cards in one turn. Reduce the cost of the cards drawn by 1. Same thing for the next one. And that reward you get is for the rest of the game. Cards you draw cost 2 less. Now, I understand that this card is very toxic, and it is very good, but we are talking about fun levels. How fun is it to complete and progress this quest? And how fun is this reward?
So I don't know about how fun the reward is. I don't know if I've ever seen it. Pretty much most games where this card is played, it
Yeah.
this is really one of the few where you're playing it primarily for the quest lines,
Yeah.
not actually the reward. Just getting those 2 discounts for 1 mana
Yeah.
is an absurd deal, and having access to it every game because I don't think we pointed this out, but if you played Hearthstone during this period, you'll know that the quest always starts in your opening hand and is playable on turn 1.
Yep.
So every game you're going to get all these discounts. The quest performed a lot better when you had Spectral Sight on the left, so that was something that made games feel kind of one-sided and cheesy.
Yep.
And there was another card, Il'gynoth, that was around during this era.
Now, I want to throw a curveball in.
Whoa,
I don't remember the name of the weapon, but the
the
weapon that
weapon?
gave you attack based on the amount of cards that you've drawn in that turn. Do you remember the weapon I'm talking about?
Yep, I
It
do.
looked like a little beetle shell. I don't remember what it was called. If you are playing this Lion's Frenzy, if you are playing this quest with Lion's Frenzy, I think we're talking about a different tier because that is fun. If we're playing this for like the meta deck that it was normally played in, I think we're talking about a lower tier. So, it's still low to me. Like even with that thrown in there, I like to me D is for Demon Hunter. What
Yeah,
are,
that's fine with me. At risk of getting canceled, I will say that I was not a fan of screaming "Brute Me, dude" at my computer as I
okay.
played this quest and prayed that I would hit my brutes off the glide and win the game on the spot. And I had to do it. I mean, we had to win
All
our
right.
games, but ugh.
Okay. There we have it. D is for Demon Hunter. We have our first D. Still no S's, although I will say one of my S's is coming very soon.
Ooh.
Next up, is it Find the Imposter?
Yep, time to call a meeting. We gotta find this imposter.
We have an imposter among us. This is Rogue. Play 2 SI7 cards. followed by second part. Play 2 SI7 cards, add a Spy Gizmo, and then play 2 SI7 cards, get Scabs. Scabs, add 1 of each Spy Gizmo to your hand. Here are our SI7 cards. And then here are our Spy Gizmos. I loved this deck. I thought it was so fun to play. And at times it was also competitive. The SI cards are a little bit sleeper. They're not like, I don't know. Some of them are a little fun. Some of them are kind of boring. It just depends on which one we're looking at. The Spy Gizmos, though, were super fun to play. Um, I loved Poland. It would probably I don't know if it would be considered one the stronger of the five, but I loved getting Mole. I thought Mole was very fun to have. So, um, I don't know. To me, this is an A tier when it comes to just like funness. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I'm waffling between C and D.
Wow.
So
Okay, we are way off on this one then.
so Justin kind of touched on it, but the deck building aspect was very, very boring. So you were pretty much starting out with a given that you had to play the same cards in your deck.
True.
The excitingness of the cards notwithstanding, like I actually enjoyed how a lot of the SI cards played, but it made it kind of uninteresting. Justin also hits the nail on the head again with the random nature of the gizmos. A
Hmm.
lot of games would be decided by which gizmo you got on the interval, and if you hit the right one when you needed it. Paladin plays their big minion. Oh, I got the sap. Haha. Oh, I didn't. GG. And, that could be frustrating sometimes. Scabs, though, was consistent. And like I just think that a lot of the times when, I was winning games with this deck, I was using Battlegrounds Battlemaster with the stealth and just sort of hoping that my opponent didn't have any way to beat a Scabs with stealth. But I do think that, the play pattern with the gizmos post Scabs was pretty good in the matchups where my opponent did have interaction. And it was fun to balance out shadow stepping for value in more gizmos, using the Spy-O-Matic to fate seal my opponent, kind of like the Jace the Mind Sculptor. I think he's supposed to look like a little bit in that art. But I think that with like that whole package, I'm looking at bottom of C or top of D for this because while it was fun to play in the late game, I think that everything else was just not going for this quest.
Hmm. Okay, we are not on the same page, but that is okay. Um, hmm.
Mm.
You've
Cat,
you've like convinced me to go lower. Um, I could see B or C. I don't think this is
okay.
D. This to me is more fun than our the Tavish and Amara quests.
Okay, I'll go top C.
Because it
Let's
is
do that.
like so the reason I'm saying that is like Tavish and Amara, they are to me they're on that same level right now because they are not fun to progress, but they are fun for the reward. And this one to me is more fun to progress, and the reward is fairly fun. So I'll go top C.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna fight for my life here. I'm ready to throw down, and I don't know if we're on the same page or not, but we're gonna find out. Fire Plume's Heart. Warrior Quest, play 7 taunt minions, reward Sulfuras, which is a 3 mana, 4/2 weapon. Battle Cry, your hero power becomes a deal 8 to a random enemy. When I think of fun, this is S tier. I will fight to the death to put this shit in S tier because some of the most fun I have had playing this game is having didn't know it was a card, is having this hero power right here and rolling for 50-50 I win the game or not. And it kept me on the edge of my seat. It was mediocrely fun to progress. Uh, the taunts at the time weren't terrible. They were fine. Like they were fairly fun at the time. Taunts were stronger than they are now. Um, and this the hero power itself is just fun. Like it is fun. I don't I don't know if we're about to fight or not. So I want to hear from you.
Probably not going to fight as hard as you're thinking.
Okay.
I'm like around B for this one. I did like it. I think that unlike Find the Imposter, like where Rogue had those specific SI cards, there were a lot of taunt cards to consider for Warrior at the time. Like Stonehill Defender and Tar Creeper were the good ones, but there was also the Cornered Sentry, which was a card I liked playing with that you could consider. You had lots of options. You also had to balance your ratio of taunt minions versus removal because you are a warrior deck. And there was this unfortunate card called Jade Idol in the meta for us Control Warrior fans that made it so we had to go fast. And Fire Plume's Heart made that possible. So, I think that like I liked this. Rag Hero Power has been one of those things that I thought was like cool, but like I didn't love the play experience of it. So, like that's kind of maybe where I'm on like high B. But yeah, was a fun quest, just doesn't stand out to me in the same way.
Yes, you're correct. Nothing is more fun than when Die Insect hits him in the face. What would you settle for the bottom of A?
Yeah, we can take it. Sure.
Okay.
I'm good for there.
All right. Now that's a good time to bring up to everybody as a reminder that we do have vetoes. So myself, Denkastad, and chat all do have vetoes that they can use. A veto will allow you once per show to move a card up or down one tier. So I'm just gonna put that out there. All right. Next up, we have another warrior quest. We have everyone's favorite super competitive quest,
Hack the system,
Hack the
baby.
System. Oh yeah. We're hacking it. I think I played this like maybe 5 times, and it was because Kibler made a deck out of this, and he was having fun, and I tried it, and I was not having fun because I was losing a lot. All right, Justin, I don't remember either, but we're about to find out.
Oh,
Okay,
really?
quest: attack 5 times with your hero. Reward Anrafet's and Anrafet. I don't know Anrafet's core. We're gonna go with that one. 2 mana hero power. Summon a 4/3 golem after your hero attacks. Refresh this. I remember it now. Um,
Yes.
this to me, not even like it's gonna, not even just because of it was so competitive. But I know we're not talking about how competitive they were, but like it just wasn't very fun.
I loved this card. This is the quest I've played probably the second most of all of
That's
these.
so interesting to hear. Like this, to me, like I never played this because I every time I tried to play it, like I felt like I was just hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely not competitive, or definitely could easily have been attacked 4 or maybe even 3 times with your hero to
Yeah,
be where it needed to be.
it needed a buff.
I would say so. But that being said, I really did enjoy the play pattern of the deck around this. Like Armored Goon, I thought was just sort of a cool card
Is that
where
the
you
one where
have,
you attack and it gave you armor?
yep, basically Boulder Fist Ogre, but you get 5 armor when you
Yep,
attack.
I remember that card. Yeah.
And I did win a lot with this too. In spite of what it might look like, I did pretty easily climb to legend with this 2 out of 3 of the seasons. And like, I didn't have a phenomenal rank, but like, was like around 12 to 1600 both times with it. Like,
Okay.
it played great. Like, was just, I just really think that I liked the more mid range aspect of Warrior. And I think that the deck and the reward were just more fun for me than Fire Plume's Heart, and the deck building condition was like pretty open. So I was into hack the system, but yeah, the power level was so low that, you know, who is it here? Geranium asks, how many times has this button been pushed? And I'm pretty sure because the power level was so low that I might have like the plurality of those button pushes in the community. So I'm uh I'm okay to go on a lower ranking with this, even though I really like it, just because it was so inaccessible.
I like it had potential to be super
Yeah,
fun. I think if you're right, if it would have been buffed just a little bit and you could get that reward more often, it would have been a
yeah,
lot more fun to play. But I don't know. I could see this being in like I could see an argument for C, but this to me screams D.
yeah. It hurts my heart, but we can put it in D. But it's going above Final Showdown. Screw
Oh, for
that guy.
sure. Fuck that card. All right. Next up, we have a it looks like we have all three druid quests back to back to back here.
That's a Warlock one sneaking in there. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, nope, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Okay. It's again, they're so small on my screen.
Yeah,
Look
no
brown.
problem.
We do have a druid one though. We have give me the name.
Jungle Giants.
Jungle Giants. Summon 5 minions with 5 or more attack. Reward Barnabas. Barnabas, 5 mana, 8/8. Battle cry, reduce the cost of minions in your deck to 0. I do not think I ever completed this quest because I think I probably only played the deck like maybe 5 or less times total. It did not seem that fun to me to play. The reward doesn't seem that fun. Like if you just draw the cards you want to reduce to 0, then you're just not having a good time. Like I don't know. Maybe you have more experience with this and can speak a little more to it.
Yes, let me try and fix my camera just because
Just gotta point that out.
yeah, I'm a little fuzzy for some reason. But anyway, okay, better. But so the format I've played with this card most in is Dungeon Run,
Okay.
believe it or not. And in the original Dungeon Run, this card was cracked. This was one of the best starting deck cards you could do, which is kind of funny to think about, but it was just too weak to really do anything serious and constructed because playing 5 attack minions wasn't easy. Playing the 5 ones that we were given was even harder than just trying to play normal ones. And while Barnabas's payoff was pretty absurd, like if you did play Barnabas and didn't die that turn, you could win the game pretty often right afterwards,
Yep.
or at least take a big lead. So yeah, I it's been buffed now. It is 4 minions at this moment
Okay.
because they did buff it with Caverns of Time.
Okay.
But I still think that it just kind of falls in D in my mind. It just
Yeah. I'm fine
wasn't
with that.
consistent enough to be exciting.
Above Final Showdown.
Yep.
All right. Next up, we have was it Lakari Sacrifice? Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yep, Lakari Sacrifice. Quest, discard 6 cards. Reward, Nether Portal. We all know what the Nether Portal is. But you still have to play it as a 5 mana card. So you didn't just get the portal. 5 mana, open a permanent portal that summons 3/2 imps. Okay. I I don't know, man. Like, all right, do we look at this with the hindsight now that we have the Titan that just summons the portal and it's just a much better card? Do we look at this at the time of when it came out? Like,
Uh,
to me, either way, like it's not fun. Like this is so D or F. It's not even funny. Like not even
yeah,
competitively and funly. It's just not there.
yeah, we can go F on this one. I think like the only thing I'm thankful for with this quest is that it gave us designs like Lakari Fellhound and Cataclysm later in the year that made discarding a little bit more consistent.
Yeah,
But like, I mean, playing the cards that say discard, hoping you draw them, and then hoping that they discard Clutch Mother Zavis and Silverware Golem was not entertaining.
yeah.
So F it is.
All right. F for fist card. Right or left?
Yep. Let's go right.
All right. Is the last one we have right now then. All right, next up, we have Druid Questline Lost in the Park. Part 1, game 4 attack with your hero, reward game 5 armor. Part 2, game 5 attack with your hero, game 5 armor and draw a card. Part 3, gain 6 attack, reward Guff the Tough. And then Guff the Tough, 5 mana, 8/8 taunt battle cry. Give your hero +8 attack this turn, gain 8 armor. I'm not S tier with this, but I could see it on the upper end of the list, the top half. Um, it's a good thing we're not talking toxic decks to play against, because any deck that had Guff in it is just straight up at the top. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm slamming S. This was the best quest.
No, it's not. I will
Yeah,
fight you to the
no,
death. I know the best
for
quest is
real.
not fucking this one.
No, it was this. It was this guy for sure. This quest was good in every format that it was in.
We're not talking good. We're talking fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Every format. Wild, boom. Standard, boom. Duels, boom. Incredible quest. Every single one. The build was so non-obvious. When this card came out, everyone was like, what the hell? Why is the quest reward just an 8/8 that gives you 8/8? That's only like one thing. It doesn't do anything. And there's so many ways to win the game with this. If you look up some of Nails' brings back in the day. Nails, who was a big name in THL, brought lots of very cool builds with this deck. This was also a big content farmer alongside the Guff Hero card as well. And there were so many ways to build this, so many ways to play it, and a reward that was really fun and still made you think about the game. Like this is everything that I look for in a quest design, and it's perfection for me. I'm at S.
I never played it, so I don't think I played it. I don't think I played it one time. It's just the reason I never played it is
Yes.
just because it looked so not fun to play.
Yeah, yeah. Habu as well, Justin. True. Like if you I'll have to find those deck lists for you, Mako, because like
I've seen the
the
decks; they just didn't seem fun. I'll let you.
how
I'll let you have this one because I'm trying to get in your good graces because they're like I went hard for Fire Plume, but like that's not my like it was probably number 3 for me.
well,
I
it's
I
still
got
number 4
two.
for now.
I got two that I'm really really high on for S tier, and we're getting close to one of them. So, all right, we'll stick it at S. I'll let you do that. I again never even played it, so that's I don't really have much to talk about here. Okay, next up we have Paladin Questline. Nope, Paladin
Nope.
Quest.
This is no, this is this is the
Yep,
Saviors one.
yep.
Making
Making
mummies.
mummies. Quest, play 5 reborn minions, reward Emperor Raps. New hero power, summon a 2/2 copy of a friendly minion. This is, in my opinion, very, very middle ground when it comes to levels of fun. This is like B. Like when I think of this, I just see B tier. It
So
reminds me of uh Makers. This one, Obelisk, the Obelisk one.
yeah, I would say it's a little worse. So this is another quest that's one of the ones I've played the most.
Okay.
And it's got this issue where there aren't a lot of cards that say reborn. And there weren't a lot
Yeah.
of cards that say reborn
Yeah.
at the time, especially.
Yeah.
So your deck was built, and while the effect was cool, you didn't have the like deck building freedom to put in the
You were
minions that it was
stuck with
cool
like
with.
certain cards that you had to have to complete it. Yes.
Yeah. And like, well, in principle, I actually really like the reward. I think that the condition and the limited card pool just took away the whole fun factor from it.
Okay.
So I'm just like, I'm not high on this. I just wish that it had more support or like an
Okay.
easier to complete condition.
Okay. You've got me. What are you feeling?
I'm thinking like somewhere low C, bottom
Okay.
maybe.
Okay. Um.
Yeah, sure, that works right there, right there.
Okay.
Boom, we're
All
in it.
right. Next up, Open the Waygate. This is a deck, another one I have never played.
What? Oh no.
So I played against it. Quest, I understand how it works. I just never played it. Cast 8 spells that didn't start in your deck. Reward Time Warp. Time Warp 5-mana spell. Take an extra turn. So I'm gonna let you speak to this quest because I have literally no. I can tell you how it felt to play against if you want me to do that, but
Oh no, I know that.
we're not talking about that tonight. So
I know. That's why it's one of my favorite cards.
this is
Uh
all you. And remember, we're talking fun level, not competitiveness here. So
oh, so this is extremely competitive. If this is competitive, this is this is near the top.
now I
But
agree, but we're
aside
not
from
talking
that,
that. We're not talking that.
so I'm a bad person. I'll just lead off there.
We know.
And I love taking all the turns in a row. I've never had a wild lineup where I did not bring this card in ice block when I've played wild in a season. And I am a big fan of saying, no, you don't. I get to go. There was a 1 week period in 2000, and I think it was 18, when this card and Vargoth were legal and standard together. And I think that that was like one of the most degenerate, stupid things you could do is play Quest Mage right before rotation. Get this out. You take an extra turn. Vargoth lets you take 2 extra turns, and suddenly your opponent never plays again, and you just kill them with little minions. And I always found that hilarious. This is an S for me, but I just get that adrenaline rush when I know my opponent is sitting there like raging at their keyboard, trying to brick their computer because
Yeah.
someone is taking 60 turns in a row.
Now, okay, on a fun level spectrum, where is this being placed? I'm taking no opinion in this because again, I've never played it.
This is an S below Lost in the Park for my fun,
Okay.
but your mileage may vary.
Okay. All right. This is one of the two that I am very passionate about. We
Raid
have
the
Raid
docks.
the Docks. This is my favorite quest. Raid the Docks, Warrior Questline. Questline, play 3 pirates. Reward, draw a weapon. Part 2, play 3 pirates. Reward, deal 2 damage to a random enemy twice. Part 3, play 3 pirates. Reward Captain Rikara, who summons the motherfucking Juggernaut. Juggernaut, start of your turn, summon a pirate, equip a warrior weapon, and then fire 2 cannons that deal 2 damage each. I I feel so strongly about this being an S tier. I don't think I could I don't know if I could put it into words.
All right, Mako, hit
Don't
me.
do don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. The thematic about this is fun. Pirates are fun. The Juggernaut is so fun. The entrance of the Juggernaut is astoundingly fun when it just swoops in like that. Um, the anticipation of where your cannonballs are going to hit are so fun. The deck itself was fun to play. You could have gone control with it in a ways and just had this as a side extra need a bit of value reward. You could go full aggro. Everything about this is fun.
All right.
Now, what are you gonna say?
So I think that fun to play, I
Hmm.
disagree a little bit on the aggro side
Okay,
because the decks were very, very linear
I
to
don't
the
care.
point where
I brain
this
dead that shit. No thoughts behind these
Hey,
eyes.
well, I'm not gonna judge what you think is fun and what you don't. You're allowed to
Okay.
have your opinion. That's fine. But I will say that I think the data backs me up because this card is one of the most disparate in terms of win rate at the lowest ranks and the highest ranks ever. This was on release about 48% at top 1K and around 70% at bronze to gold in terms of win rate. I think the only actual problem I have with this card is that it was one of the most disparate cards in the game. And when you were going first with this deck, it was about 20% bump in win rate. I know we're not talking about competitiveness,
Yeah,
but
I'm gonna need you to pause here because you're getting full. These are all competitive stats, and we don't
okay,
give a
but
shit about
okay.
competitive stats
All right.
in this list. We're talking strictly fun levels here, bub.
Yes. Now
And when I see
fast
a
forward a
pirate
bit.
ship swoop onto my screen and a yar har
Now
har, I'm
yeah.
I'm all for it.
You,
I'm kicking my feet, you know? Like
yeah.
we're
And you're
swinging.
going to then you're going to like where this is going.
Okay.
Because all this boils down to, I think that on release, I am with you.
Okay.
But because this card had to pay for its sins and get nerfed and nerfed and nerfed again, it became kind of like hack the system for me, where it just was too underpowered to be interesting because it had to be nerfed so much. And having gotten a taste of the good stuff when this card came out, I was not able to continue to play with it because I just,
You're
felt like I was
you're dipping into the competitive side here. You're
lose.
dipping into it. Your toes are
I mean,
dangling in the water. We're
but
talking fun.
yeah, it's not fun when you were gonna get your pirate ship, but suddenly you're two pirates
Okay.
away in the
Now
same game you're
I
playing.
hear what you're saying. It got nerfed like 5 freaking times.
Yeah.
So we're gonna let's evaluate it in like the middle, like not its
Okay.
final version and not its first version, but after it, like I think it actually got nerfed like 3 times.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like in the middle there, after it's got nerfed like once, it's still
Yeah,
I
I'm like low A, high B at that point. But
I'm
like I'd be willing to go with you on S if we're talking strictly like, first patch of Stormwind right out the gate. Where does this stand? But it
tell
gets
me something more visually appealing to your eye on any of these quests than seeing a freaking pirate ship swoop onto your screen and shoot some freaking cannonballs.
a buff cow rescuing a squirrel from a tree.
What are you talking about? Is
I'm
that
talking
the
about
Lost in the
Lost in the
Park?
Park.
Again, never played it. Never played it.
All right, but for the sake of time, what do you say that we slap this guy in A? If we're gonna compromise again,
All
I'll let
right.
you choose the spot, and then
We'll
we can
swap
keep
it.
moving.
We'll slap it A, but I'm telling you by
Sure,
the end of this
sure.
show, it's getting a veto up to S. All
Okay.
right. Now, you know what? I need to lay down like my feelings towards this card right now. I'm I am using my veto to move this to S. I'll put it
All
at the
right.
bottom of S just to hopefully prevent you from using it to put it back down to A. So I'll appease you in the middle there. All right. Okay. Next up, we have, let's see, we have 5, 10, we have 12 more. We're going to have
Okay, we're
to
gonna
move at a steady pace here.
boom. All
All
right.
right.
Raid the
Next up,
Sky Temple. Let's go. We're raiding still.
we are, there's another one coming up that I feel strongly about, but only because of the deck it was in. It's one of my favorite decks of all time. We're not there yet, though. Raid the Sky Temple. Quest, cast 10 spells, reward Ascendant Scroll, which is a hero power. Add a random mage spell to your hand. It costs 2 less. A whole lot of fun, in my opinion. Thanks,
Yeah,
Dad.
insta
Is
F. This sucks. It didn't do
uh,
anything. You're a mage deck, you're playing spells. Getting a random spell was way worse than it seemed, even with the discount. It's an F. I'm
okay.
yeah. This
I
this
I
was
am with
this
you.
was
Like
rough.
this is how we move at a quicker pace because we get these shitters at the bottom. All
Yeah,
right.
boom.
Is it
Right
below?
in the middle, in the
Okay.
middle.
Okay.
Boom, right
All
there.
right.
Cool.
Next, Paladin, rise to the occasion. Okay, this is one I always wanted to play, but the deck surrounding it was like I there was a time I think where this was like fairly good. You have to correct me. No,
No,
was there not?
no.
Am I thinking of a different
Abs-
Paladin one?
This got like
Am I
tried
thinking of
in
it?
Wild and Odd Paladin, but this was
No, am
never
I
strong
thinking
in
of a
Standard.
different Paladin quest? There was a Paladin quest that got
No.
played. I don't know what I'm
No.
thinking
The
of then.
side quest got played. The side quest was
Yes,
very,
never
very
mind.
good.
Never mind. Okay. I
This
knew
this
there was a
card's
quest, like a little orange ding in Paladin that happened that was like pretty good, but I couldn't remember what it was.
yeah.
All right. Quest line. Play 3 different 1-cost cards. Reward equip a 1/4 Lights Justice. Second part. Play 3 different 1-cost cards. Reward upgrades your hero power, which makes it summon 2/1/1 recruits. And then part 3. Play 3 different 1-cost cards. Give you Cariel for the rest of your game. Your Silver Hand recruits have +2/+2. So you summon 2/3/3s. Yeah.
If there's a Blizzard employee watching this, you should put this card in the grand tournament when we get there in Twist. We should go back grand tournament with this card. This card would have slapped in 2015. But it was in 2015 when it got printed,
Yeah, no.
and it was kind of in the same sort of realm of a sort of fun quest, not the most fun, but like kind of average, that was just so weak and so underpowered that no one could even enjoy that fun because you just could not stay in games.
Yeah.
So I'm like high D or low C on this one, but I do think I would have enjoyed it if it was like at a more released at a more appropriate time.
I'm with you on the high D.
Okay, yeah, sure. That's below hack the system.
Okay.
I'll stand for my guy.
All right. Next up.
Seek guidance. Oh no.
Okay. So, all right. We have Seek Guidance Priest. Quest line. Play a 2, 3, and 4-cost card. Reward discover a card from your deck. Second part. Play a 5 and 6-cost card. Discover a card from your deck. Final part, play 7 and 8-cost card. Reward Zarella, the Sanctified, 5 mana, 7/7 taunt. Shuffle the Purified Shard into your deck. Purified Shard, 10 mana, destroy the enemy hero. Okay, I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I thought that this was actually kind of fun. I know it was a lot of mindless, like, me see 2, me play 2, you know what I mean? But it was so fun, like actually winning with this deck and when you actually get to play Purified Shard, which never freaking happened. Um, it's not. I don't think this is like when it comes to fun levels. I don't think it's at the top, but I think it's in the middle somewhere. Like the playing the shard is so fun to do because you know it's just an instant win. It's got a cool ass animation. Getting there is not as fun, I don't think, but what do you think?
I think that this makes it into D tier only because it is the only deck ever in the history of the game that was looking to play Renathal to run 40 cards, not just for the extra health. Because running the
Yeah,
40 cards was good because it let you actually have the correct ratio at each mana cost to fill your curve and complete the
yeah,
quest consistently. Everything else about this was terrible. Uh, like it was cool to play the shard and win the game, but because of the context this was surrounded by, the correct thing to do would be to get rid of your Zyrella and put her back in the deck so that your opponent couldn't steal her after you spent all the mana to complete the quest.
okay,
And it just had such a miserable play pattern, particularly in the mirror,
yep.
that I like even as a person who loves control decks, I just can't say it was enjoyable.
I stuck her in D.
Cool.
Next up, I quite enjoyed this next one. I played a lot of this deck. Sorcerer's Gambit, Mage, Questline. Questline, cast a Fire, Frost, and Arcane spell, reward, draw a spell. Second part, cast a Fire, Frost, and Arcane, reward, discover one. And then final, cast a Fire, Frost, and Arcane spell, reward, Dawn Grasp, which is battle cry for the rest of the game. You have spell damage +3. This was a lot of fun to play. This was, I think, when it comes to fulfilling the quest, like not the reward, but the actual like steps to fulfill, this was the most fun I had out of all of these quests to like complete the quest. I
I
felt
can
like
see
I was
that.
like piecing a puzzle, and it was a lot of fun like going through and thinking about this as you were completing it. Um, Once you play Dawngrass, you almost just won, so like at that point it didn't matter. But like when it comes to like fun levels, I had a blast going through all three of these quest lines or
So,
pieces, whatever the fuck.
so this is probably the quest I've played against the most
Oh, yeah.
because this was, I believe, overall the second most popular quest that we've talked about, with the most popular actually being Raid the Docks. Sorcerer's Gambit is
Mhm.
number 2 in the stats from what I remember. And this deck was not great because well, it was like this was I didn't like it cuz it was so reliant on Encanter's Flow in its time. And I think once they nerfed that card, I came to appreciate this a bit more. But like, yeah, I just did not enjoy the play pattern of Dawngrass, but I do agree with you that completing the quest, building your deck for Fire, Frost, Arcane, and doing that whole thing was very fun and enjoyable. So like I'm like kind of in the middle on
This
this.
is A for me. Like, I feel like it was very thematic. Um, Piecing that together throughout
Also true.
was very fun. I could see B. Um,
Yeah. I'm good with like high B if
I mean, we
you want to
just we
go.
only have one and B right now, so
Yeah.
I'm good with B too. I can
Yeah.
settle for B. Okay. Now, when I'm talking about, they can't see what's down here for the next one. When I said earlier that I feel very like I feel very like passionate about one quest, not because of the quest, but because of the deck it was played in, it is this next one. Because outside of this is gonna be very toxic. What's about to come out of my mouth? My favorite deck of all time is Cloning Gallery Priest. Behind Cloning Gallery Priest, this next quest was the main focus in my second favorite deck of all time. And I don't know how long we're going to be on this, but we have Supreme Archaeology, which is draw 20 cards, reward Tome of Origination, draw a card, it costs 0. And holy moly, playing this with the primes was so goddamn fun. Like I would play like I would sometimes get my ass kicked playing this card. But shuffling like an infinite amount of primes in my deck and just constantly 0 mana. Give me that 0 mana 10/10 rush. Give me 10 armor. Give me that 0 mana 7/7 shoot 5 mage spells. Give me that 0 mana anything. Like, I did not give a shit. I loved playing that deck, and it is so fun. It was so random. I'm gonna let you
Yep.
speak. It's all you. But for me, this is going up to S. Like when I think of fun and when I think of quests, when I thought about this earlier today, this like whole list, when I thought of S, this was the first thing that came to my mind when I'm talking like levels of fun.
Yeah. I mean, I played this one a little. This is not one of my most played, but it was enjoyable enough. I do think that I wish that I had been playing more Conquest and more tournament formats like maybe THL at the time because this was I don't think the best equipped for ladder in terms of like getting to experience that adrenaline rush of clicking the hero power because if you didn't find your plot twist, getting to 20 cards was a lot,
Oh yeah,
and sometimes it
you
just
needed
wouldn't
plot
happen.
twists. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
And in those slower matchups though, where you know you're gonna get to do the thing, this is a blast.
the
So I'm
thing.
willing to yeah, draw your pay to get your 0 mana Mali, get your Mechathune, whatever nonsense your prime, whatever nonsense is buried in your deck that just gets enabled by this. Like I think that Mana Cheat is at its best when it's like a little bit inconsistent and you can't really plan around it organically, but you can just like sort of luck into it sometimes. Like this was super fun. Like I'm willing to go high A or S with this. This was a blast.
All right, we're going S then. Okay, the high A part was not even needed to be said. All right, next up. Now, if we're talking competitiveness, this next one is like top of S tier, right? But we're talking fun levels. The
If we're
caverns
talking
below. I mean, maybe not anymore, but like for a good while, this was like oppressive.
it was very good, but it was not
It was
it
oppressive. It got how many times did this freaking card get nerfed?
once, I think.
No.
Oh no, they did the 4/4 thing too at one
Yeah,
point,
the
right?
stats got nerfed, the amount got nerfed. Like when this card came out, even like after it got nerfed the first time, it was oppressive for a bit.
I
But anyways,
mean,
that
it was
doesn't matter.
played a lot. It was played a lot. I think though it
We're
did hit that oppressive point in Kobolds, though. That was when this
yeah,
got to the point of being busted.
we're talking fun levels though. Quest play 4 minions with the same name. Reward the crystal core for the rest of the game. Your minions are 5/5. I, I don't know. Like it's not. I don't know. I don't know if I would call this fun.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
I
fun to
mean,
win, but like
I liked playing against it too. I just remember farming this with Pirate Warrior, and
yeah,
like I think that it was part of the problem is that it was like if your deck was a little slow, this was brutal. But if you were an aggro player, you've probably like never heard of this because you just would smork them down. So
how fun is it
like,
to complete though? There is a
oh, but
there is a little bit. I don't know if this is gonna sound stupid. There was a little bit of thought that came into like completing this. Like I'm sure now it's easy. Like what I'm like someone said the spark bots. Like I'm sure you can complete this pretty quickly with that now. I mean I don't know if it's I don't play wild, so I don't know if that's competitive in wild, but at the time I know it took a little bit of thought to complete it. Not and I know it wasn't brain dead thinking, but and it wasn't super complicated. But I don't know.
yeah,
This was. I mean, I still think this is kind of lower on the spectrum when it
yeah,
comes to
I'll
fun
go like
levels.
bottom of C. I will say my most fun game on the deck was I actually lost, but I was playing against Fibonacci and against in the matchup into Control Warrior is like 80 was like 85-15 for the rogue.
Hmm.
And Fibonacci pretty much played perfectly and had all the perfect draws and managed to get there. But it was one of the most fun games I've played, even to be on the losing side, just because it was like so cool
Yeah,
to see a person figure out the matchup and get all the kind of luck they needed to pull it off.
we got six more, and we're gonna finish in 15 minutes. We're gonna get this done
Boom.
by 9:30. All right. Next up, everyone's favorite card, and I think this might be the last quest line. The Demon Seed.
Mm.
This is the last quest line. Part 1, take 10 damage on your turns. Reward lifesteal, deal 3 damage to the enemy hero. Part 2, take 10 damage on your turns. Same thing. And then part 3, take 10 damage on your turns. Reward Tamsin for the rest of the game. Damage you take on your turn damages your opponents instead. This is actually pretty fun to play.
So I'm gonna say hot take the like mid-range version with giants after the nerfs. I put this in like C. The freaking D6 craziness that at the very beginning of the meta, A or S. Like I think that, this is the only APM deck I remember like playing so much, finding the lines, but just not being able to do them fast enough because you were able to do so much. And like which build was correct was crazy. Like this came out with 3 mana rod. And you
Yeah,
could even do a rodless build if you were doing free admission. And you could do so many nutty things with this. I'll go A or S for Demon Seed.
I
Just a loopy card.
I as I mean, I'm I played dumb lists. I mean, when I played THL, I played competitive lists, but on ladder, I played just stupid lists with this, and it's just so fun to play. It feels so satisfying to complete each quest line. I think behind the Dawn Grasp one, it's probably second when it comes to like fun level completing each step. In my
Mhm.
opinion, this to me is uh, hmm, A or S.
I'm liking A, like above
I'm thinking
Corrupt the
top of
Waters.
A.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay. Next up, we have
All
five
right.
more. Do you have the song? There's a
I
song
do.
for
I
this.
just sent it to you right
You
there.
did?
Boom.
Okay,
See?
hold
I
on.
was prepared. I came ready.
Good. I forgot there was a song until I saw it.
Yeah.
The Galvadon theme song. Let's. And we'll pop it on the screen.
Galvadon, the last Kaleidosauр. He's got stealth and a whole lot more. Galvadon, the last Kaleidosauр. He's not that
So
bad
great.
if you don't die. Turn 4. From
The fun thing is,
Ungoro
I've
Raider
never
a
played it.
long time ago comes an underpowered
But I've watched
friend
Kimbler
off
play it,
to
like,
slow.
dozens of
Galvadon,
times.
the
But
last
I've never played it myself.
Kaleidosauр. He's
And
got
to answer
wind
Diamond's
fury
question,
and a
it's his
whole lot
ex-wife
more.
Natalie who did the song. So
Is it really?
yeah, they were married at the time, but
Yeah, I knew
yeah,
that, but I didn't
they
know
are.
she did the song.
Yeah.
Okay. Galvadon is the reward, but to get there, you got to cast 6 spells on your minions. And then when you get there, you get Galvadon 5 mana 5/5, adapt 5 times. Again, I've never played this card, but I watched Kibler play this so many times, and it was always a blast watching this card get played. I don't think it doesn't seem very fun to complete, but I think we can factor in the theme song into the fun levels of the card because
Yeah.
every time I think of this card, I think of that song. So where are your thoughts here?
I think B, I will push a little bit back on the not fun to complete just because playing a spell on a minion was a lot more special back then
Yep.
than it was pre, Librams and everything. It wasn't something Paladin could do super easily, so you did actually have to kind of plan around it, think, and do some cool things. So, yeah, I like B for this one.
Okay.
Just probably
Fine with
above
that.
Obelisk. Yep,
Okay.
right in between,
Shoot.
in the
There we go.
middle.
All
Boom.
right. Quattro Mas. We have the Marsh Queen.
So this one is double S, most broken quest ever made. I know we're not supposed to talk about competitive, but this ruined
Yeah.
Hearthstone, and yeah,
Yeah,
that we
you told
quit.
me the
That's
story
it.
beforehand. Quest: play 7 1-cost minions. Reward: Queen Carnassa. Shuffle 15 raptors into your deck. Battle Cry for each raptor. They're 1 mana 3/2s. Battle Cry, draw a card. The theme of this card is super fun. Um, Playing like the queen and then her brood getting shuffled and they're all trying to come out one after the other. I think that's super fun. Um, I I don't know. I did actually play this one a little bit. I didn't play it much because anytime I played it, I was not very successful. Since it was not good. But they want the story. Oh,
Yeah,
uh, where are we sticking
yeah.
this? While I'm feeling a solid like
Low B, high C. I think that,
really I was going D F.
yeah, I mean, I'll go high D too. I think above Seek Guidance is fine.
Okay.
But like I think that the Hunter ones just weren't actually very fun to play with.
Yeah.
And then when you completed the quest, not much actually happened. You play Carnassa, it's super cool, and then you play a couple 3/2s and you die. And as we learned with Ungoro, getting a board full of 3/2s was not actually all that strong in the
Yeah.
late game, even back then. So yeah, and then like as I said in the comments with the story, Life Coach reviewed this as the best Hearthstone card ever printed, and being so broken to the point that he was no longer going to play Hearthstone. And well, it wasn't. Like card was fine, but nothing special by any means.
All right. R.I.P. We have 3 more. Next up, one of these is actually I found pretty fun. But it was not this one. Next up, we have Unite the Murlocs. Quest, summon 10 Murlocs. Reward, Mega Fin. 5 mana, 8/8, battle cry, fill your hand with random Murlocs. I played this a small amount. Yeah, animation for this, kind of fun. I think the art on Mega Fin's pretty fun. I, eh, I don't know. It's,
Yeah, I liked this one. I do think that one thing about this that was kind of cool is one of the only quests that was splashable. And because of Call in the Finishers, this was actually pretty doable in a Shaman deck that wasn't a Murloc deck. So the actual Murloc version was like very boring, but Control Shaman was one of the 2 decks that I hit Legend with, and this was my first Legend climb ever for Ungoro. And I played Unite the Murlocs in like an Elemental Control Shaman. And the Megafin was like the value tool that helped me kind of get over the finish line against druids and stuff. So
yep.
I like thought it was like neat in that sense, but was not really one of the more fun. I'm good with low D.
All right. Above Final Showdown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Screw that guy.
2 more. We're about to bring it home. We have 2 more. Next one, we have Hunter Quest. Unseal the Vault. Quest, summon 20 minions. Reward Pharaoh's War Mask, which is a 2 mana hero power. Give your minions +2 attack. This is straight in the F bin to me.
Wow, I thought we weren't talking about competitive, Mako.
I it's not competitive. It's well, I think there was like what, like wasn't there like one deck at one time that was like decent? Or am I wrong?
Oh yeah, this was like always like on the fringe of playable.
Yeah,
I really had fun with it, but like it was definitely not super good.
yeah. But when we're talking fun, like giving my minions +2 attack is not super fun.
I think it's fun.
I mean, you're talking competitive and you're talking winning, but like I don't
I'm not
think
talking winning.
I don't
Uh,
think it just giving my minions +2 attack is very fun.
I think that doing it every turn and then having them all come back because my board is refilling courtesy of my favorite legendary whose name I am frantically looking up as I stall.
Keep going.
What's his face?
Yep. You can
You
do
know the
this.
one.
No, I don't.
Uh
I don't know what you're trying to get at.
the 1/7 that fills your board with 1/1s every turn.
Yeah. Shoot, I forgot that card existed.
Did they buff it? Where is it?
I don't know what you're talking.
No, not Halazi
Halazi.
the Lynx. No, that filled your hand with 1/1s.
I know what you're
See,
talking about.
Geranium's got me. I trust. I believe.
I know. What were the tokens?
Shuma
Shuma.
Gora. Yeah, Shuma. Yeah. Shuma flooding the board and clearing and going face every turn was actually something I took great satisfaction out of, and I thought it was hilarious. So, like,
We're
I
not
like
rating
that.
Shuma though. We're rating the
I
quest.
know, but like, I was in the quest deck. Shuma, Swarm of Locusts. I'm not like pushing for this to be anywhere like near the top. I'm pushing for C, but I had my fun with this
I'm
card.
okay with C. I'll
Yeah.
settle for C. I don't think this is fun at all, but I don't know. Okay. Last one. I actually really liked this quest. Final
Yeah, I
quest, untapped potential. In 4 turns with any unspent mana, reward Obsidian Tear, which is passive. Your choose one cards have both effects combined. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed completing it. I enjoyed the reward, the payoff. I liked the deck that it was in. I played a lot of it. I had a lot of fun playing it. I don't think it's an S tier quest,
Yep.
but I thought it was really fun. I would say top half for sure.
Yeah, I'm liking like high B, high B probably. I don't even think I go to low A. But it was definitely made for some interesting games. I just don't I didn't love the whole like pray for Oasis Surger kind of thing that was like so common with playing the deck.
Yeah.
But like doubling your choose ones was really cool. So yeah, like
I'm
like
in
I think that
B.
I'm in low B. I think this one's even below Obelisk. Like I liked how
Okay.
I liked the highs, but the lows were low. And as Geranium points out, for that world championship for Hearthstone with BK Lion against Luna, it was yeah, it was a little bit rough to watch, and
Yeah.
just because that deck didn't quite, it was so powerful, you had to do it, but it wasn't the most consistent. And
Yeah.
I'll keep us on time. We'll call it there.
All right. Here is our final list. I am going to be posting this in the Discord so you can see it better. I'm not going to run through every single one of these in their tiers because I don't remember a lot of their names.
Wait, don't I have a veto? Doesn't chat have a veto?
Yes,
We're still here.
calm down. Okay, one, your freaking cam disappeared here, dude.
I think both of our cams disappeared.
Nope, mine's right there on stream. It's just yours.
Weird.
Yep. Anyways, yes, chat has a veto and you have a veto. So, chat, is there anything that you would like to? I forgot again to make a poll feature for this. Hopefully, I'll have it by next week. I'm gonna try my damnedest to. But okay, Diamond saying Demon Seed to S. Geranium saying Sorcerer's Gambit down to C.
Spicy.
Justin saying Demon Hunter Quest goes up. All right, we got 3 different ones going. If chat is able to settle on one of those, we can roll with one. But in the meantime, if you have one that you would like to talk about, we can talk about it here.
All right. So I'm a host. I can do anything with this, right? Like
No, you can't do anything.
I can't do anything.
No.
What if I wanted to push secure the deck to F above Lakari Sacrifice and those other quests?
I'm gonna tell you. I would tell you something I shouldn't tell you on stream. I'm just before you make any final movements, I just want you to remember that I gave you full reins on Lost in the Park and Open the Way Gate with no competition.
It's true.
So you go ahead with your veto. I just want you to remember this offhanded fact.
Well, I wouldn't even have overruled anything.
Hold
I
on.
just would have
I
pushed one of
think
the
that
side
I
quests
think
into
they're
F.
settling on the seed going up.
Okay.
All right. Seed has moved up.
And I'm not talking about raid the docks, Mako. I'm talking about secure the deck.
Which one's
I'm
Secure the
promoting
Deck?
a side quest.
Oh, a side quest. Oh! I can't read these, dude. They're tiny. Which one's? Which one's that? Is that the hunter one?
The druid one.
Oh.
The one that gives you attacks.
Are
I
you
was
serious?
kidding.
I mean, if you're
No,
serious,
no.
you can. Okay.
No, I want to actually bump Hack the System up to C above Caverns Below. That's actually what I want to use with my veto.
You want it to go? Where's that?
Hack the System.
Yeah, fine.
In D,
Okay, there.
right there, and
Right
it goes right there.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
There it is.
What do you mean? What about Demon Hunter? You guys get 1 veto. You're trying to get 2.
Well, maybe if you
get
guys
1.
I don't know. Spend your points, do something crazy.
No,
Get people to sign up.
We're on time. It's 9:31. They got 1.
Oh, it's true. It's
they
true.
got 1. Okay. Now, before we head out next week, next Monday, we are going. Okay, we're not going to be doing all of them. There are too many for one show. We're just going to do a random, probably hand picking, or we'll go back to like a certain. I don't even know. I have a week to figure it out. Next week, we are going to be ranking THL championship banners. So those banners that you see on our website from championship teams, we're going to be creating a tier list out of those. We have a special guest next week. We will have a third person with us. This person has, we'll say, crudely made some of them, some of these championship banners. I'm not sure how this is gonna go. There's gonna be some bias in these, I think, but maybe he can be objective in his rulings. But Diamonds is going to be joining us next week as we go through THL championship banners and put them in their correct and lawful S to F ranked tiers. So we will see you next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, joined by our fellow Diamonds. And until then, have a great time on ladder. We have a 2-week week this week for series because of the mini set. So mini set on Thursday, but you do not have to play until next week if you don't want to. But you do have to have your match scheduled still by or Tuesday, or at least contact your opponent. So please get in contact with them. All right. Until then, have a nice day, and we will see you next Monday.
All right. Later, guys.